We're going to go ahead. Would you like to hear somebody read the whole story? Okay, we'll do that. Rachel, you come on up and read the whole story, okay? Not lots of expression.
A day at the farm. Mark and Matt are twins. The twins like to go to Granddad's.
Maybe you have a pet at home. Do you take good care of him?
Yes.
Well, let's find out how the boy in our story takes care of his dogs. Emma, get us started.
Todd and his dogs. Todd has 2 dogs. One dog is Tiff and one dog is Top. Tiff likes to run fast. He likes to run up the road.
We're going to talk about making change and how you go about doing that. Today we're going to go shopping and do several different things with making change. And I want you to be sure that you're counting back your change in as an orderly a manner as you can, using the least possible amounts of coins. Let's take a look, for example, at our box. $10 is greater than $6.17. You need change. Start with the amount owed and give change until you reach the amount paid. Start with the least unit of money and move towards the greatest. So you always count back from your smallest to the greatest. Here's how they did it. $6.17, 3 pennies gave them $6.20. A nickel gave them $6.25. 3 quarters then would have given them $7. Why didn't they use a quarter and a half a dollar? Any hands? Why didn't they use a quarter and a half dollar? Christina?
Because half dollars aren't really used that much.
That's exactly right. You don't see a lot of half dollars.
Now, what's another thing that we could take out and get rid of, students watching? Corey's again. This time, is it still showing possession? You notice that both of those are. We know that the apostrophe S shows that possession, but still we don't need to hear it over and over again. Again, what would you take out and what would you put in, Paige?
You put in her.
For?
Corey.
Exactly. So then, here's our new sentence. Corey gave her cat to her sister. Is anyone confused by that? Is anyone looking at me right now saying, Mrs. Prayer, I don't know who her is? Anyone? No. Because we know what the pronoun is going back to. And you know what that's called? It's called an antecedent. Say that word for me. Antecedent. This word Corey, when we take that out, it becomes the pronoun's antecedent. So all an antecedent stands for is the noun that's being taken out and being replaced with that pronoun.
Who was Abraham Lincoln? He taught himself how to read. How many people today will tell you, oh, you can't get an education at home? Is that right? Check out how many of your first 16 presidents were educated at home, either by tutors or by themselves. Abraham Lincoln didn't even have a tutor. Abraham Lincoln would come home from hard work, sit in a chair right with a fire, open up books and read law books, taught himself Latin, taught himself all he would ever need to know. The man never had one day of formal schooling. He educated himself right through and became president of these United States.
Look at the top, page 167, and students watching, what is this called? When the king is questioning the hatter, and he says, now where did it all start? And give your evidence. And he said, well, it all began in the twinkling of the tea. And the king says, the twinkling of the what? And the hatter says, it began with the tea. Of course, twinkling begins with a T. What is that, students watching? What's going on there? And in here, Ryan.
I'm not sure.
Okay, maybe the students watching weren't sure either. Rachel, do you have an idea?
Maybe they thought the T stood for tart.
Okay, or for here, twinkling, because he says, of course, twinkling begins with a T. Do you see that it's a play on the words? Write down the word pun there. When you use one word and you take the meaning from another word, then you're making a play on words. It's a pun, and you really have to read between the lines.
Now I want to see the steam rushing out of there. And I think we're at a good point. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and in. How about that? Now, why did the can violently implode? Jessica?
Since it had no air pressure inside.
Yeah, there was no air pressure inside. So, boy, I tell you what would you say about air pressure? It's powerful. 14.7 pounds per square inch pushing in on this can.
What form would this be, Pavel, on 180 degrees plus 30?
The same function.
Yes, that would be to convert it to the same function. What does the word, or the abbreviation in front of co-function, CO, what does that stand for, Pavel? Do you remember?
I forgot.
Lost the word there. Rebecca, help him out. Students watching, before she says it, what is co an abbreviation for? Do you remember? Rebecca, what is it?
Complementary.
Complementary. And of course, we know that complementary angles are angles that add up to 90 degrees. But we also said we need to begin to associate in our minds, in the coordinate axis system, in all quadrants, 90 degrees and 270 need to be associated in our minds with co-function. Good job, Pavel. We do have to write this angle in terms of 270 plus or minus, since we want to convert to the co-function. Back to Aaron. Try that again. 270, obviously, it's going to have to be minus some number of degrees. How many?
60.
Minus 60 degrees.